the BAFTAs, the British Academy Film Awards.
The BAFTAs.
The BAFTAs? And all the excitement, all the buzz, all the stuff going on.
Absolutely.
Maybe even a little drama behind the scenes.
Oh, there's always drama.
Oh, yeah. I mean, last year there was that whole prankster incident, so this year they've ramped up security.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder what they did.
I know.
No, right?
Makes you wonder what could be so bad. So bad to have,
to up the security like that.
Yeah. But let's get to the nominations. Conclave is in the lead with 12 nominations. 12.
Wow.
Including Best Film. It's all about the whole selection of a new pope. All the secrets, all the, the power dynamics. It's got to be...
Accession.
Oh, yeah.
Big theme.
Yeah.
Especially within those institutions.
Yeah. The Brutalist. Honora. The Complete Unknown. And Emilia Perez are also up for Best Film. But Emilia Perez is right behind Conclave with 11 nominations.
Oh, wow.
It's close.
So do you think it's going to follow what's been happening in the States
Yeah.
with Emilia Perez doing so well?
Oh, it could be a big showdown. We'll have to see. And remember that behind-the-scenes drama I mentioned?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the BAFTAs after party was supposed to be at the Chiltern Firehouse Hotel. Super chic, super fancy.
Right.
But there was a fire. A couple of days before the event, Netflix was hosting the whole thing. And they had to find a new spot in 48 hours.
Oh, no.
Can you imagine?
Logistics.
I
The
know.
logistics of that.
That must have been crazy.
It must have been insane.
It makes you wonder if, that'll change the vibe of the party, A little more, maybe subdued. Or a little more...
Exclusive.
Yeah. Who knows? Speaking of the after party, our host this year is the one and only David Tennant. He's back for a second year. Remember that joke he made last year? Maybe he went a little too far with Cate Blanchett.
Maybe a little.
Well,
it's a fine line.
It is.
The grand stage like that.
Yeah, he says he's going for a kinder, gentler style this year. He doesn't want any awkward moments. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll see how he does.
It'll be interesting.
It
A
will-
little less edgy.
Yeah.
But,
It's got to be funny.
gotta find that balance.
Right. All right, let's talk about those actors, those big performances.
Yeah.
So Ralph Fiennes, he's up for Best Actor. He's already got a nomination for Conclave. But we've also got Adrian Brody for The Brutalist. Timothée Chalamet, always a fan favorite, in A Complete Unknown. And Hugh Grant for Heretic.
Yeah.
Quite the lineup.
That's a really interesting mix of,
Yeah.
veterans and
Yeah.
up-and-comers.
Absolutely.
What a year for cinema.
It is. It makes you wonder what the voters are looking for. That technique or that.
Raw energy.
Yeah. Who knows? Okay, now for Best Actress, we've got Cynthia Erivo. She's getting amazing reviews for Wicked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but she's up against some tough competition. Carla Sofia Gascon in Emilia Perez, Marianne Jean-Baptiste in Hard Truths, Mikey Madison in Honora, and, drumroll please, Demi Moore in The Substance. Wow, a lot of range in that category.
So much. It really shows you the power of women.
I know, powerhouse performances.
Yeah. And some nuanced stuff, too.
Subtlety,
Yeah. And then you have Demi Moore,
a comeback.
yeah. It's really cool with all these different performances. Who knows who will win? Will it be classic acting or something totally different, something groundbreaking?
Right, you never know.
You never know. And before we move on, I have to mention the outstanding debut by a British writer, director, or producer category. The nominees are Horde, Kneecap, Monkey Man, Santosh, and Sister Midnight. Such interesting titles. These films really showcase the future of filmmaking.
Oh, absolutely.
Like fresh perspectives,
And voices.
new voices.
It's so important to have a platform.
Yeah, and for audiences, it's a chance to discover new filmmakers. And a BAFTA win! That could change their whole career.
It could be huge for them. Opens so many doors. Absolutely. I want to learn more about a couple of these nominated films. Conclave is definitely on my list.
Yeah.
That whole papal selection process shrouded in secrecy. It's got to be fascinating.
Right, all that tradition, the inner workings. I
Yeah.
mean, imagine the ambition, the faith, the politics all in one room.
Yeah, it's going on the watch list. But I'm also curious about The Brutalist. Why is it resonating with so many people?
Oh, it's a really powerful film. It's about a Jewish architect escaping Europe after the war,
Oh, wow.
and he tries to rebuild his life in America.
Oh, wow.
So you have themes of identity, displacement, the American dream,
Wow.
and it's all shown through art and architecture.
It sounds amazing. Really powerful.
It is.
And Adrian Brody's in it.
Oh, yeah.
Always a plus.
And the director, Brady Corbett. He's known for his really unique style.
Really?
Yeah, like visually stunning, very
Yeah.
thought-provoking.
So we have political intrigue, we have an incredible immigrant story, stunning visuals, so much talent. It sounds like this year's BAFTAs are going to be unforgettable.
I think so. It's really anyone's game at this point,
It really is.
but it'll be exciting to see it all unfold.
It will be. Okay, let's do a quick recap before we jump into part 2. Conclave is leading with 12 nominations. Amelia Perez is right behind with 11. And remember that crazy story about the after-party venue?
A fire.
The fire. And of course, David Tennant is back as our host, hopefully with a kinder, gentler approach. We'll see.
We will. And don't forget all the amazing nominees for Best Actor and Best Actress. A lot of familiar faces, but some new ones too.
Yeah. We've got a lot more to discuss, so make sure you come back for part 2 of our BAFTA Deep Dive. We'll be talking about those international films and the power of documentaries. It's going to be good.
And as we dive deeper into those nominations, we have to talk about those international films. They're
Yeah.
really bringing something special.
They are. Films like All We Imagine Is Light, I'm Still Here, and The Seed of the Sacred Fig. They're all nominated for Best Film. Not in English language.
Wow. It really shows you how universal storytelling can be.
It does.
Transcending those language barriers.
It's exciting to see the BAFTAs embracing that diversity.
I know.
It really broadens our understanding of what cinema can be.
It makes you see things
Ah,
from different perspectives.
absolutely.
It challenges you.
Speaking of expanding our understanding, let's talk about those documentaries.
Okay.
This year's nominees cover some really important topics, like
Oh.
Black Box Diaries, Daughters, No Other Land, Superman, The Christopher Reeve Story, and Will and Harper.
Documentaries can be so powerful. They dive into those complex issues, they shed light on things we don't know, and they challenge us.
Yeah, they're not just about the facts. They make you think, they inspire you, and sometimes
Yeah.
they stay with you long after you've seen them,
It's true. This year's nominees, they really exemplify that power.
you know. We talked about how a BAFTA win can impact a new filmmaker. But what about documentary filmmakers? How does it change things for them?
It can be a game changer. A BAFTA win. It raises the profile of the film, it brings in a wider audience,
Yeah.
and that leads to more opportunities. Funding, distribution deals.
It's about getting those stories out there
It is.
to make a difference.
And a BAFTA win can do that.
I'm really interested in hearing more about those international films. Any that stand out, that our listeners should check out.
All We Imagine as Light is a beautiful film. It explores grief and memory
Really?
with such sensitivity. It follows two women brought together by loss, and they uncover some long-held secrets along the way.
Wow.
The visuals are stunning, and the performances are incredible.
Go to my list. What about other films?
The Seed of the Sacred Fig is another good one. It's a Senegalese drama about the tension between tradition and modernity.
Interesting.
It looks at those generational dynamics too.
Oh, wow. That's a universal theme,
It is something we all grapple with.
especially in today's world.
Exactly. And this film, it handles those themes so well. It makes you think about your own values.
It's amazing how these international films, they offer such a diverse range of experiences,
It's true.
but they all connect us.
They remind us that storytelling, it can bring us together.
Absolutely. We've covered so much ground, from the big categories to the nominees
Yeah.
to those international films. I feel like I have a whole new understanding of the BAFTAs now.
It's been quite a journey, but there's more to uncover.
Good.
Before we wrap up part 2, I want to talk about something bigger. The significance of this year's awards.
What do you mean?
There's a feeling that this year's BAFTAs could mark a turning point.
Really?
We're seeing more international films, more new talent, and audiences are demanding different kinds of stories.
So you're saying the BAFTAs, they're not just reflecting these changes, they're driving them.
Exactly. They're championing diversity, embracing new voices, and recognizing the global reach of film.
Right. Award shows are only part of the equation.
Right. It's up to the studios, the filmmakers, and the audiences to make that lasting change.
So what does this all mean for the future of film?
It's an exciting time. The industry's changing, audiences are more discerning, and there's so much potential for groundbreaking stories.
I love that sense of possibility.
And the BAFTAs,
Wow,
they're a window into that future.
Okay, time for a recap before we move on to part 3. We talked about those amazing international films, like All We Imagine Is Light and The Seed of the Sacred Fig. And we discussed the power of documentaries
Right.
to inform, to inspire, and to create change. And we even touched on the bigger picture. Could this year's BAFTAs signal a shift in the film
A
landscape?
shift towards more diversity, a more global perspective.
It's definitely something to think about. We have one more part of our deep dive to go, so stay tuned for part 3. We'll be making some predictions, exploring those signs of change, and leaving you with a final thought-provoking question. Okay, so we're in the home stretch of our BAFTA deep dive. We've gone over the nominations, the behind-the-scenes drama, and even talked about a potential turning point for the whole film industry. But now for the big question. Predictions time. Who do you think will take home the Golden Mask this year?
Well, predicting these things is always a little tricky, but there are some frontrunners conclave with 12 nominations. I mean, it seems like a pretty safe bet, especially for Best Film.
Yeah, 12 nominations, that's hard to beat. But award season is always full of surprises. Are there any underdogs we should be watching for any films or performances that could shake things up?
In the Best Actress category, Cynthia Erivo's in Wicked, she's getting a ton of buzz. She's such a powerhouse, and that role, it really calls for both vocal and emotional range. I wouldn't be surprised at all if she wins.
Yeah, she's definitely a force to be reckoned with. What about Best Actor? Any guesses there?
Timothée Chalamet, in A Complete Unknown, he's a strong contender. He always delivers these captivating performances, and his role in this film has gotten some really great reviews. He's a favorite with critics and fans alike, so that could give him an edge.
He's got the talent and the charm, for sure.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that these BAFTAs could signal a shift in the film landscape. What are you seeing specifically that suggests this shift is actually happening?
One of the biggest signs is the rise of international films. We're seeing more films from different cultures and countries not just being nominated, but actually winning awards. It shows a growing appreciation for stories that go beyond typical Hollywood narratives and offer new perspectives on the world.
It's like Hollywood is finally opening up to a more inclusive global cinema.
Exactly. And it's not just the films, it's the people behind them too. We're seeing so many new directors, writers, producers from diverse backgrounds bringing their unique voices and visions to the screen. It's breathing new life into the industry and pushing the boundaries of storytelling.
It's really incredible to see this evolution happening, but award shows are just one piece of the puzzle. What role do we as the audience play in all of this? Can our choices, our preferences actually influence the types of stories we see on screen?
Absolutely. Audiences have so much power. We can shape the future of film by actively seeking out diverse stories, supporting independent filmmakers, and demanding more inclusive representation. Our choices can impact which films get made, which stories get told, and who gets a seat at the table.
So as we watch the BAFTAs this year, it's not just about celebrating individual achievements, but also about recognizing those larger trends that are shaping the future of cinema.
Exactly. Pay attention to the themes being explored, the voices being amplified, and the potential for change that each award represents.
That's a wrap on our BAFTA deep dive. We've analyzed the nominations, the drama, the potential for a major shift in the industry, and even challenged you to think about your own role in shaping the future of film.
Remember, film is a powerful force. It can reflect and shape how we understand the world by engaging with diverse stories and supporting those who are pushing the limits of filmmaking. We can create a richer, more inclusive, and more meaningful cinematic world for everyone.
That's what it's all about. Until next time, happy watching.
Yes.